Welcome back. We are in our last week together in the book of Jeremiah, and I said in the last video that everything after chapter 45 just kind of feels like an afterthought or like an appendix to the book. Like chapter 45 should have been the end, but then there's all this extra stuff. And one reason for that is that everything we're going to read this week is addressed to other nations, nations that are not Judah or Jerusalem. They're going to be addressed to Egypt and Babylon and Ammon, Moab, Edom, the Philistines, and so on. Now, other prophets do similar things like this. Zephaniah has a section where he's addressing the nations. Obadiah is like this, Jonah, Isaiah, Amos. But when they do that, they typically are criticizing these other nations for their pride or their military aggression or their idolatry. But Jeremiah is not so much like that. He doesn't do that as much. He more is just announcing their doom, but he doesn't often say, here's why this is happening. So let me give you my 2 cents before we get into the reading. We know that in the year 605, there was a battle between the empire of Babylon and the nation of Egypt. And in that battle, Egypt lost, they retreated, and they were the last thing keeping Babylon from flooding into the area and wiping out all of these smaller nations. And so after Egypt falls, these other nations have to decide whether they are going to surrender to Babylon and lose their autonomy but survive, or are they going to band together and resist Babylon and try to maintain their independence. Babylon, though, is doing the Lord's work. This is what Jeremiah believes, that Babylon is the servant of the Lord, a tool of the Lord to bring judgment on his own people. And so if you resist Babylon, by default, you're resisting the Lord, and you're going to fall. And so Jeremiah is bringing messages to all these other nations, saying, you need to surrender to Babylon or you're going to be wiped out. That's what I think is going on here. I hope that helps. Today we're going to read chapters 46 through 48. We're going to read about his prophecy to Egypt, to the Philistines, and to Moab. You're almost through. Stick with it, and hopefully, we are going to finish out the week together. Happy reading.